Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and we are here today with another just archetype overview. This is going to be, the second out of 2 red archetypes. I believe next week, of course, we're going to go into another color, so I am very excited to see what's up. Just thinking about in terms of what we're probably doing, I would peg green to be the next reveal. I feel like we're about to start seeing cooler and meta cooler cards. I think just because blue has Gamma and Beta and Red Ribbon Army, I feel like blue, it's weird. They could put blue at the very end because it has the most hype, being the unknown factor, or they could put blue next to make sure that the hype continues. But I feel like with the movie not fully being in this set, likely being in the next set, it would just make more sense to put blue at the end. But, we have this other red spoiler, and I'm going to go into this because I think there's more than meets the eye on this. So the couple things I just wanted to say is, by the end of the video, if you think you're liking the content, go ahead and click that subscribe button, the notification button, like the video so it trends. It just is what it is. I'm building the channel. We're only going up, and we got so much stuff planned. Now, we are currently at just about a minute in here, so let's do this as quick as possible. If you haven't seen the official Facebook group for the game, hit it up. This is where we get these spoilers that you're seeing on screen. This is where we get official announcements. This is where you know about your tournaments first. Then you've got the unofficial discussion group. You've got the unofficial Reddit. Both groups are great sources of information for this game. If you are a new player, a veteran, a returning player, all these things. You got the Universe X Discord, where all sorts of talk happens about this game, anime, video games, whatever, just whatever, memes, whatever, deck building. It all happens in the Universe X Discord. Then, if you want to see me in other different avenues, you can check out UniXDB or UniX Gacha, where I play other games. So it's not just the card game. I am trying to branch out and really expand this brand. Speaking of expanding the brand, if you want to help, you can always either go look at my, partial sponsor and friend, TCGMetalZ, to check out these metal cards. They are excellent, and he does absolutely banging work every set. And if you find something you do like, which, spoiler alert, you probably will, you're going to be able to use the code UNIX in the checkout to get 10% off your entire order. Last but not least, I do have my own TCG player page, so you can check that out. I'm going through literal massive amounts of just bulk in my room, so I'm adding cards every single day. So just check it out. Maybe you'll find something you like. Maybe you'll help a bro out. That being said, we're gonna jump into these. Template up, and the first card up is Dr. Myuu and General Rildo. Now, if you guys know anything about me, I have a really big thing against Rildo. If you watch my Dokkan summons, if I pull Rildo, I consider the pull an L. When I was pulling Cross Worlds with me and one of my friends, every time one of us pulled Rildo from a pack, we automatically lost the pack war, because we just open packs to say who got the rare card. So it doesn't matter if you got an SPR. If your opponent pulled a Rildo, or if you pulled a Rildo and an SPR like a God pack, you just lost because Rildo was in that pack. But hopefully Rildo brings it back right here. So we've got, when this card attacks, play up to 1 red machine mutant card with an energy cost of 1 from your hand. Okay. When your life is at 4 or less awakened, you can choose 3 cards from under a Super Sigma card in your battle area and place them under this card. Then you may draw 1 card, switch up to 1 of your energy to active mode, add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 life left, and flip this card over. Alright, we definitely need to see the back because we can't even evaluate this fully. This leader does not draw and swing. He plays a machine mutant with the cost of 1, which automatically makes me think that they're going to have cantrip effects. And just to let you guys know, I go through these cards one by one. These are my first reactions. I see them online, and sometimes in groups I see people post things, but I like going into these fresh. So these are always my first reactions, and then in future videos we break down, make skeleton deck lists, and really start talking about the functions. So we know that these 1-drops are likely going to cantrip, because otherwise your leader is straight negging from your hand. That would make him truly booty Rildo. Moving to his backside, we've got Dr. Myuu and Hyper Metal Rildo, Rulers of Planet M2. That is a title, and the art's not bad for a dude in a metal speedo. Auto once per turn when you activate Evolve or Union Absorb, draw 1 card. Okay. Auto, when this card attacks, you still have the effect to play a machine mutant. Okay. And then once per turn, place 1 card from under this card into the owner's drop area. This card gains plus 5,000 power for the battle. Alright, so 3 times per game, he basically goes up by 5k. and unfortunately it's not for the turn. Otherwise this would actually be pretty cool if your leader had a built-in Sensu 3 times. You are going to play 1/1 drop, and that's going to probably be a break even unless one of these goes +2. It's probably gonna be a break even. You're going to play the 1 drop and then search or draw or something, and then when you evolve or Union Absorb, you get to draw a card, and depending on if you can Union Absorb or evolve from the drop area, this could be a potential +1 capability, but we will see. So the first card is the Unison after this, and we got Baby Juvenile Parasite. That's right, Mr. Gummy Boy. Make whatever memes you want about this. I actually really like this card. This is one of the cards that was ending up in mini groups because of its effect. Permanent, if your leader card is red and all your energy is in rest mode, your leader card gains 1000 power. Permanent, if your card would lose a marker from the opponent's attack, you may place 1 card from under this card in its owner's drop area instead. And then +1, activate mean, draw 1 card, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and place it under this card. This card gains +10k power for the turn. Okay. So, this guy is, in my opinion, phenomenal. And I will just put this out here, disclaimer, I don't think this guy is taking a slot away from Jiren or Sin right now. However, in terms of the kind of spot removal that this card provides, while he doesn't ignore barrier, he is just straight up taking a card. It doesn't matter if that card's a 1-drop, which your opponent likely played. That card could be a Thwarting the Dark Empire. Nope. That card can be a Pan that just got played to stop you from getting killed, and this Kai is going to be like, nope, I'm taking it. So that's absolutely crazy. And of course Kai or Pan would just leave the field, they wouldn't be able to be taken like that. But this is actually really crazy, or at least Kai would, but this is really crazy. So the other thing that's kind of cool is besides the +1 being a hard +1, it can even be considered a +2 if you want to consider the removal of a creature plus the drawing of a card. It's a massive swing in tempo. But on top of that, the fact that he has this placement, or this replacement clause, he can take a card from under him and take that as damage instead, is very strong. Because he's only 10k, so that means the leader will be able to neutral and just swing neutral and take a marker off you, or in this case, take a card from under it. And that's kind of threatening because that leaves you to give them a free draw every turn, and also pressure Unison with that same swing, which many Unisons have, but 10k is just a precarious number because even throwaway battle cards will be able to swing and get in on this. If your leader card is red, yeah, so the +1000 is pretty interesting because that means your opponent can't go neutral on you. If they swing their 15k into your 15k, oops, your guy is currently 16k, so they have to invest 1 more card to get in there. Also, you can invest 1 less card when you're comboing. So all in all, this is actually a pretty good effect. Now the only other thing though is it says all your energy is in rest mode. Now granted, red is the color. If there's any color that's good at tapping out and not dying, it is red, because red has Wolfang Fist, red has Yamchas, this is the 3-cost Unison, so red will be able to use Vidals. Red has the gas to be tapped out and still survive. I'm just wondering if this is it. Moving over to the battle cards, General Rildo, combination ready. Union Absorb once per turn, 2 red. Choose 1 Super Sigma card in your battle area and or drop area. Okay. Place it under this card. Play up to 1 red General Rildo card, the energy cost of 5 from your deck or hand on top of this card. Shuffle your deck if you look through it. Auto, when this card is played, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Add up to 1 red Machine Mutant card amongst them to your hand. Shuffle your deck. So this is the normal searcher. I think it's worth noting that this doesn't allow you to search your Unison, which is very crazy because without that Unison, that Unison is very defensive and it picks apart your opponent's board. Maybe it's too strong to search, but I really do feel like it's kind of weird that you cannot search your Unison with this card. So this is just that. Now when it comes to the other effect though, 2 cost is a little bit kind of weird. You're gonna play this turn 1, and then as early as turn 2 though, you can tap out and bring your 5-drop Rildo to the field, and that's pretty cool. However, I think it's very neat that you can actually do this from the drop. If it was only battle area, this card would be Cheeks 0.0. But because it can do it from the drop area, you can literally combo with a Super Sigma and then bring it back. So I dig that. Very good use of the cards. It's also a 1-drop, so like I was saying, these are going to add cards to hand. You're going to be able to swing play this card from your hand without playing energy, and then you're going to be able to cantrip, well, search the top 5 to search for a machine mutant. And then you still have 1 energy left over, so I'm assuming there are other 1-drops if this is how the leader effect is going to be going off. So this is going to really allow you to start going through some of these cards. Let's look at this one, next one. We got Ribbit Combination Ready. If your leader card is a Dr. Myuu card, when this card is played from your hand, add up to 1 DBSCG card from your deck or drop area to your hand, then shuffle your deck if you look for it, or look through it. One part that I'm going to put out here as well is really cute that they're tagging these to Dr. Myuu and not to Rildo, because that means there could be some backwards compatibility and maybe some future compatibility, because Myuu is more of an overarching character than Rildo. Myuu could we could maybe get a red Super 17 in the future, and if it's Myuu and the 2 17s, then we will be able to use some of these cards with it. So it's just cool stuff, cool little design spaces they worked in. So you've got him being able to come out and search for DBSCG oh, okay, it's only 1 DBSCG. So 1 DBSCG card from your deck or drop area to hand. It's cool that you can recycle from the drop area too, so even after you run out of copies in your deck, you're still able to pull from your drop. Next card, Myuu Combination Ready. Same exact effect, except it searches 1 Ribbit. So this is actually pretty neat. Even though some of these cards can look underwhelming, it's very cool to know that you can swing with your leader, play Rildo, Myuu, or DBSCG from your deck, and then you can just, you know, search. And then if you want to, with that second energy, you can just tap and then play another one and search. So even though, you know, you're breaking even again. It's like the other red deck I was talking about. You're breaking even, but you're playing these cards and you're immediately replacing them in your hand. And that's just, thinning is winning. Deck thinning is winning. Then you got DBSCG Combination Ready. Barrier, we like that. You can absorb once per turn, choose 1 Myuu and 1 Ribbit card from your hand in our battle area and place them under this card. Play up to 1 Super Sigma card from your deck or drop area on top of this card. Shuffle your deck if you look through it. Auto, if your leader card is a Dr. Myuu card, when this card is played from your hand, add up to 1 Myuu card from your deck or drop area to your hand and then shuffle your deck if you look through it. Okay, so now we're starting to see how this comes together, okay? This deck can turn 1 Awaken, if I'm not mistaken, because you charge 1 energy, right? You then swing with your leader if you're going second. You swing with your leader, and you play, like, let's say you play this DBSCG to the board, okay? This DBSCG comes to the board, and you search 1 Myuu to your hand, yeah? Now, if you have a Myuu in your hand, and you already opened up with a Ribbit, now this is where the RNG comes in, but you open up with a Ribbit, you can then tap your energy to put the Myuu that you just searched and the Ribbit from your hand on top of this DBSCG, right? Or under this DBSCG, and then play 1 Super Sigma from your deck. And after you play that Super Sigma, you can activate your leader's ability to choose 3 cards from under a Super Sigma, which are the 3 that you just have under there, put them under your leader, draw 2 cards to take your life from 8 to 6, which is the 2 cards you already just minus from your hand to go into that. So it's a break-even transaction altogether. But then you're going to draw 1, that's the +1, and untap 1. So you're going to end up being a untapped, like 1 energy open, 6 life, 15k leader on turn 1, and all you need is to open up 1 DBSCG. You just need to open up 1 DBSCG and 1 Ribbit. And to be honest, you're going to be running 4 of those, so there will be, that's a mulligan hand. If you want that turn 1 awakening, that could be a mulligan hand. So that is a little bit of a neat interaction. The next card, we got Super Sigma Combining Warrior. This is Barrier Blocker. When this card is played, draw 1 card, and then choose all of your opponent's battle cards, and they gain 10k power for the turn. Activate battle, 2 red, choose 1 DBSCG, Myuu, and 1 Ribbit card from your hand in our battle area and place them in the owner's drop areas. Play this card from your drop area. Okay, so you can discard 3 cards and then play this card from your hand. Or you can put them from your battle area if you've been playing the 1-drops and do that, or sorry, from the drop area. So you've got kind of like a recyclable blocker, though it is steep at 3 energy essentially, or 3 cards in hand. I mean, not 3 energy because you're playing from your leader, but it's also cool that this guy draws 1 when it's played, because now what that means is going second, turn 1, you drop to 6 cards, you draw 7th card, you swing with your leader, play DBSCG, search Myuu. If you have that Ribbit in hand, you tap your 1 energy to put DBSCG, or to put the Myuu and the Ribbit underneath the DBSCG, play the Super Sigma, and then you're going to draw a card from Super Sigma, putting you at a -1 for the turn. But then you awaken, taking 2 cards from your life, that's a +1 status at this point, to then draw one, untap one, go into +2 status and awakening. So this guy on turn 1 can go +2 while awakening, and I think that's actually really, really cool. So I don't know, and these cards all float, and since they all float, you don't have to run as many battle cards because you just need to open up 1 or 2 of them and you get your stuff going. So that's actually pretty cool. Being a barrier and a blocker is also very, very strong because he can just sit there and wait, just waiting until he needs to be crucial. Next you got Super Sigma. He's just a 0.5k 30k. The good thing about this is that you can put it in the grave by comboing, and that just allows you to just to do the, you know, Super Sigma stuff, because there are a couple cards in here like your General Rildo combination ready that needs a Super Sigma in your battle area or drop area, and this guy can actually do it. You know, you can literally just combo them off. Maybe you run 2 in the deck, combo them off, and then Unit Absorb with your 1-drop Rildo. Moving forward, we've got the 5-drop Rildo that would take the Sigma to evolve into. Hyper Meta Rildo combined power. He's got blocker, evolve for 1 red on this on a Super Sigma, so that's actually really, really cool. So you can either have the Super Sigma and evolve this guy over, or you can just Unit Absorb with the 1-drop. Auto, if your leader card is a Dr. Myuu, when this card is played, you may draw 1 card. If you don't activate up to 1 Plant M2 from your deck, then shuffle your deck, and we'll get to that later. Activate battle once per turn, place 1 card from under this card in the owner's drop area. You may choose one of your opponent's battle cards and add it to your opponent's life. If you do, switch this card to active mode. This effect, I am puzzled, because you are really just rejuvenating your opponent, and what if they just block you from the next swing? Like, that sucks. But whatever was on their board, I don't know, like, if this ignored barrier, I can see that. Maybe there's something so powerful that you're like, it cannot stay on the board, like the Goku blocker or miraculous transformation or something like that. But I don't really get this. Now, on the other hand, there are cards this is going to really mess with. Any card that gets removed from the game when it leaves the field, like SS God Trunks is the most likely one, because most of the secret rares you're trying to end the game the turn they come down. But if your opponent does Caillou, this could like go away. And if GT becomes a much more popular deck, Kai could become a much more popular FCR. I'm just gonna put that out there and we'll talk about it later. But this card is actually, it's interesting. But yeah, Trunks, it just pops it from the game. You're just like, oh, I'm just gonna detach a card and bounce that, and it's gone. So it has its niche capabilities, and it's 25, and it gets to swing pseudo dual attack. But it says you may choose one of your opponent's battle cards out to your life if you do. So that is unfortunate. It's not an up to. I wish you could just detach and make this dual attack. They wrote this card specifically to be bad. Like, but it is what it is. The Planet M2 is cool because you'll be able to play a field card from your deck. But yeah. Now you got the Meta Rildo Ascended General. You can evolve this on a General Rildo with an energy cost of 5 or more. And we're gonna look at the other cards because there are some other cards, like there's an SR General Rildo, and we need to see what that one does. But Metal Rildo Ascended General, Double Strike Barrier Blocker, that's very strong. Activate battle, fix your opponent's turn, and you place 1 card from this card in the owner's drop area. Switch this card to active mode, and this card gains minus 5,000 power for the turn. Okay, this is really, really interesting because you can pressure this guy, right? And this is also activate battle, so you can pressure with this man. He's 30k double strike and barrier, which means he's getting it in. Unless your opponent has something that ignores barrier or a final flash, he is just getting it in. 30k double strike is nothing to mess with. Barrier is even worse because they can't haze this man. There's a lot of stuff they can't do. However, it's also cool that you can swing with him as pressure as a 30k beat stick, and then your opponent swings, and they get that one swing for you to be like, all right, well, cool. We're gonna have to take that, but activate battle. I'm gonna untap this guy. He's gonna go down to 25, and he's 25 barrier blocker. And red has enough cards to be able to soften the blow to leave a 25k blocker upright. Or there are gonna be times where you can block with him. If you need to be super defensive, you can leave him in active mode, block with a 30k barrier blocker, Sin Shinron style, and then activate battle, which comes after the block step, minus 5k, and then put him up. Now that minus 5k is risky because you have to do that before your opponent combos, and that could change their trajectory. But you can also just eat the block as a 30k, and then when they swing on the next time, you know, combo out of it, but then activate battle, I'm just gonna untap him, and you have to swing through him again if you want to get to my life. So that's very, very cool. And then we got to the last card, Mechanized Planet. Field, this card is also treated as into, that's the kicker. Auto, if your leader card is a Dr. Myuu card, when this card is placed in your your battle area, draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card from your hand. So it's a filter 2, but you're breaking even. However, if you're playing this from the deck, you are plussing 1 because you played it from the deck. You just drew 2 cards and draw 1 card. That's a +1. A little bit of +1 interaction. Activate battle, switch this card to rest mode, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and gain minus 10,000 power for the turn. Not quite as good as the original Myuu, but you know, it is what it is. This one actually is going to get, you might actually want to play a mixture of them, you know, maybe 2 of these and 1 of the OG one. I actually really dig that because this doesn't say you can only have 1, so you could play both Planet M2 as well as this card. And because it's treated as Planet M2, that's very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. So I'm digging this. On first look, it has the ability to very much so cantrip. You're going through your deck at pretty good speeds, and if all these cards search out all these cards, you're going to be in a position where you maybe have more room to play good red dot deck, and that's always good for red. Red has a very powerful set of just generically cards. Blue, yellow, and red, in my opinion, are just the best decks that are just like, we have a plethora of across the board different answers for different situations, strong general cards for the color. And so any core that's smaller in these 3 colors will just work better because, well, any core that's smaller and then still functional will work better because it's going to have the ability to just put in so many cards around it to strengthen it. So yeah, I think there's more to Machine Mutants than meets the eye this set, and I hope you guys can see that too. But we will be doing the breakdown soon enough next week, so I hope you guys are ready for them. Thank you guys for coming to Universe X. Like I said, if you like the content, think about hitting that subscribe button so we can keep growing. We are on the road to 2K, and I will see you guys the next time you decide to join. Thanks. Later.